So guys, ever since I started personalizing my cold emails, my reply rate has boosted by at least 10x. I'm setting meetings, not only that, but my response rate is actually more positive. Like I said, I'm setting meetings. In fact, I woke up to a meeting from a cold email today. I'll throw that on the screen now. But guys, with that being said, what I want to do is jump in and show you how not to write cold emails and how to write cold emails, particularly your first personalized lines. So guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. If you're new around here, please drop a like, comment and subscribe. Make sure you turn on a little notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a fire upload. So guys, in today's video I want to talk about cold email, particularly how to write your first personalized lines for your cold email, because I see a lot of people, and I'm going to show you the common mistake. We're actually going to be jumping into my laptop and showing you the actual common mistake most people are doing, so I know exactly what you're doing because I did it too. So what I'm going to do is kind of break that down and show you exactly what not to do and what exactly you should do and where you should find the details to kind of find this information on what you should put in your personalized first line. I'll give you the whole thing basically. So stick around for that. We're going to be jumping into my computer like I said. First and foremost, I just want to give you a quick update on the Upwork stuff. A lot of people are asking me, do I still do Upwork? I don't know why people are asking me that. If you literally look back on like my past 7 videos, I mentioned Upwork. I still use Upwork. So basically right now guys, I'm using Upwork. Most of my clients are coming from Upwork, and I'm using email as well to set meetings as well. So those two methods right now combined are what's driving my agency forward from Upwork basically. I don't know why people are asking me this. By the way, I closed a new client. I'll throw that on the screen right now. So that's 2 clients from Upwork just this month. I've set 6 meetings from Upwork just this week alone. So I don't know why people, I got a message. I'm not even saying that it was a load of people. Somebody asked me, do I still use Upwork? Yes, I do. Does it still work? Yes, it completely does. Evidently, I've closed 2 clients this month just from Upwork alone. That client was a 2K per month client, and then I closed a $650 per month client. Again, I'll throw it on the screen for you. If you're confused as to what I'm talking about, go back on my last video. I give you an update as to 2K per month client. Basically guys, yes, Upwork does work. And for you guys that are wondering why do I use Upwork and stuff like that, and why do I use cold email, Upwork is basically like a way to drive in cash flow for me to reinvest. It's basically a way to get clients really quickly to then invest into other areas of my business. Maybe, you know, for example, hiring lead sources and doing all that good sort of shit basically. That's what I use Upwork for. It's just another traffic source, if you will. It's literally just another traffic source. It's not like a be all end all for me. It's literally just a traffic source. It has its place, it has its job to do, and it does it very, very well. So in the program, I'm actually changing the 4-week program that I offer. That is a one-on-one program where you get to work with me one-on-one. It's a done with you program. It's not like you're just getting a course and buying it. I literally am building your business with you, holding your hand along the way through 4 weeks. It's quite intensive. So yes, the spots are quite limited because it obviously takes up a lot of my time. So I'm literally working with you to build your own agency directly live on calls and stuff like that. So that is a program, and I'm also including cold emails into that now. So it's going to be teaching you all about Upwork, how to use Upwork and cold emails. With that being said guys, let's jump straight into my computer as to how to go about setting meetings with cold email through your personalized first lines. Again guys, I'm going to be jumping in and showing you exactly what not to do and what not to say and what to say in order to get positive responses, stop you from getting a bad email reputation, sender's reputation, and also set up meetings with your cold email. So let's dive into it. So guys, now that we are in my computer, forgive me, I'm still a cheapskate. As you can see, I'm still using the free version of Loom. If you guys are familiar with Loom, Loom is just a recording software. They actually changed their whole business model around recently. It's now required for you to have like paid plan. If you don't have a paid plan, you have a 5-minute recording limit, which it wasn't like that before. And this logo is now changed ugly. But anyway, guys, let me show you how not to write first personalized lines for your cold email. So I'm just going to start off with saying I 110% recommend out of the bottom of my heart, you just personalize each first line you send for every single person you now send an email. So if you're watching this video, whatever you were doing before, that's fucking done. You now need to send personalized lines in your cold email, or you're just not going to get responses. Like it's done. Forget it. Forget that template shit that you was doing. This is what you're going to do instead. So let me show you how not to write personalized first lines, because I know a lot of you guys are doing this, because again, like I said, I did this shit. So first of all, you're going to like Google, Instagram and whatnot. You're sourcing leads and stuff like that for Ecom. I'm going to show you for or e-commerce examples here. So what you're doing, guys, is you're collecting a sheet like this in Excel or Google Sheets or whatever you use. So you're collecting the company's name, the website, the first name, last name, position, and the source, and then maybe some other information such as their Facebook account, their Instagram account. That's good, by the way. You should be doing that and collecting leads and making sure you have a full pipeline. But here's what you're fucking up at. You're using merge tags. Now, there's nothing wrong with merge tags, as in I still use merge tags to actually automate my emails and stuff like that. Now, again, don't go crazy. Here's what, every time I mention the word automation, somebody watching this video is going to be like, oh shit, Montel said automation. Now I'm just going to run off and scrape a bunch of emails and just send them to info @ without personalizing. Again, I keep saying this in my videos, don't do that shit. It just never works. And here's what people think personalizing cold emails is. So here's what you're doing, because this is, again, like I said, what I used to do. So you have the company name, the website, first name, the last name of founder, the CEO and the owners. You have like a source of where you found them from. By the way, this here, I'm going to show you, this is still very absolutely just shit way to personalize cold emails, but it's better than what most people are doing. Most people are literally not even going into even this much detail. I say this much detail, but it's not really that much detail. Again, it's absolutely shit and you should not do this. So here's what most of you are doing. You're collecting a sheet like this that looks like this, probably has some more information on it, but here's what you're doing in your cold emails. You're using like a automation tool such as like Lemlist is what I use. You're using stuff like Woodpecker, which is a software I used to use, which is basically the same as Lemlist, or you're using like Mailshake. All three of those software I've just mentioned are pretty much the exact same thing and they do the exact same thing. But here's what you're doing. You're getting this CSV file of like this right here. You're downloading it and you're uploading it to a email software, a cold email software that is. Don't be using MailChimp for something like this. MailChimp is for newsletters, and like for people that have opted in, you need a cold email tool for this if you're going to automate your cold emails. So here's what most of you are doing. You're using scripts like this. So you're saying, hey, and an F name relates to this column here, F name. So the software is smart enough to obviously look to see where your F name is, and then it will pull in each name. So it looks like it's being written by hand, and you guys are getting giddy with this. So you're going like this. Hey, F name, which would obviously be Max. Obviously, you can see the translation down here. So this translates to this basically. So again, I'm just gonna say this. This here translates to this. So this is what it looks like without the merge tags being put in, and this is what it looks like with the merge tags being put in. So here's what you're doing. You're saying, hey, F name, which is their first name. I came across C name, which is their company name, on source, which is where you found them, and you saw that they are the position, which is obviously this bit right here of the company, and I believe you are leaving a lot of money on the table in terms of your market. That is your personalized first line. That is not personalized. I repeat, that is not how you write personalized first lines. And again, this translates to this, just so that you're not confused. So this again equals this. So this is what it looks like on the actual email once it's actually being put through the software and the merge tags have been put into the actual email. So you go like this. Hey Max, I came across Blue John on Google and saw that you was the founder of the company. I believe you could be leaving a lot of money on the table in terms of your marketing. So that's what it looks like. Once it goes through the software, it changes these merge tags to match each one of these names and these company names and the position. So that's what you're doing, and that is completely wrong. I'm going to show you, because I know this is going to cut off in a second. I'm going to show you what to do in a second. Okay, so we're back. A little bit of a ragamuffin style, as us Jamaicans would call it. We don't have the greatest production quality over here, but the value in this is going to be worth its weight in gold anyway. But look, guys, this right here, like I was saying, using shit like this and just doing this, that's not personalizing your first lines. I see people doing even worse shit than this. I've seen people literally just say stuff like, hey, and then their first name, you're going to love this Loom audit that I've sent you. That again is just using a person's first name is not personalized. And as you can see, we're using a few tags here. So we're using the person's first name, the company name, the source, and their position. That's 4 pieces of information that seem like you're personalizing your first line, but again, it's all an illusion. This is not how you personalize the first line. Now, the reason why I say this is not personalizing the first line is because it's just too generic. This can be sent to anybody. So if you collect a list of people like this, these, especially e-commerce business owners, they know what a merge tag is. They're more technologically savvy. That's the word I'm looking for. They're more technologically savvy than the average business owner. Even like business owners, like local business owners, can still pick up on this and just smell, just templates from a mile away. So don't do this sort of shit. This is only going to lead to shitty response rates, and you're going to get marked as a spammer, and you're never going to set up any meetings like this. But let's jump into how you actually should personalize your cold emails. Now, take a look at this difference here. So this is how you should personalize email. Pay attention to this shit. So this is what you would do instead. You'd go, hey Max, just checked out the interview you did with Eric Matthews from RTT3's YouTube channel back in July and loved it. It was really inspiring learning about how you started Blue John Clothing back in 2008 from your kitchen table with your wife, Hannah. So let me walk you through why this is a personalized email. This is so specific that this could only be sent to this guy called Max. This, again, I just made this guy up, by the way. This could only be sent to this guy called Max, and it makes sense. For example, I'm name dropping his wife here, his wife's name. So I like to do what you call name drops, as in like if you read on the company's website that this business was co-founded and the two founders are called Mike and Sarah. Mike and Sarah are like a couple, they're married. I would say, you know, I would actually name drop Sarah in there when I'm talking to Mike. It's awesome that you started a business together with your wife, Sarah. That is way more personal because it actually sounds like I know them. So let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm actually going and finding interviews on the internet or even blog articles or just like certain pieces of information that pertain to them, like articles, YouTube videos, podcast episodes. Did I say blogs? I pretty much said blogs already. But here's what I'm doing. I'm using that and I'm name dropping who the interview was with. I'm even saying what channel I found it on, and I'm even date dropping. This is what you call date dropping, where you say back in July. That shows them I know my shit. I've researched. I've actually watched this video of this interview. And then I'm saying it's inspiring how you started the company. Because again, we're talking to a founder here. Founders are entrepreneurs. They're business people. They're people who create companies and build shit. So I'm saying it was inspiring learning about how you started your clothing brand back in 2008 from your kitchen table. So this would be me showing from your kitchen table would be me showing that I literally listened to the interview of him saying how him and his wife struggled back in the day, and they ended up just starting a clothing brand, and they started it in their kitchen, and they, you know, created their clothes from their kitchen table. By the way, I actually wrote a personalized first line just like this for a business that I read in their about section that they actually started their business from the kitchen table. So this bit right here actually is legit. I would say obviously the names are made up, but this example here is actually real. I actually found a business where they were talking about, there's a whole bunch of businesses that started their business from their kitchen. I even seen a guy mention on his website that he started his business out the boot of his car, and I actually mentioned that as well. Just mention shit like that. For example, there was another business where there was this business owner, and to source like denim jeans, like the actual material for denim, he used to wait up in the car parking lot for this market to open so he could be the first one in there. So I actually mentioned that in the cold email and got an awesome reply as well. I'm going to break down the keys here, what to do in a second, but as you can see, we're about to run out of more time. I'm doing this super ragamuffin, as Jamaicans would say again. So what I'll do is I'll just wait for this to run out and then jump back into this. I might even just stop it here. Okay guys, like I said, what you want to do is make sure you're personalizing the fuck out of your emails. And again, this is kind of like a litmus test to see if you're personalizing the line right. You need to ask yourself, could I send this email with this personalized first line to anybody else other than Max and it makes sense? And if the answer is yes, you're not personalizing it enough. And what I mean by that is if I was to send this to someone else, for example, other than Max, let's just pretend this is actually real and you know this was an actual interview with a guy called Eric, and it was on his YouTube channel, and his wife's actually called Sarah, and they actually did start the business from a kitchen table. If I sent that to somebody else, like I don't know, John at some other clothing brand, that would not make sense to him because he doesn't even know who Eric Matthews is. He's never even heard of RTT3's YouTube channel. His wife is not even called Sarah. He doesn't even have a wife. He didn't start his business back in 2008. So as you can see, all these little pieces of information could be found very, very quickly. But here's the key, guys. You have to do the work. Yes, it is more tedious and more time consuming, but trust me, it is 100% worth it, and it will boost your reply rate by at least 10x is what I've actually found personally. Now, this is also going to do a few things for you. It's actually going to keep people from marking you as a spammer. So that means your deliverability is going to stay quite healthy, because less people that are marking you a spammer, the better sender reputation you have on your email. And email health is absolutely crucial. Email health is more important than your subject line. It's more important than your personalized first line. It's more important than the body of your copy, and it's more important than your call to action in your emails. So I actually recommend, like I said, name dropping other people's names. So again, I seen that you started your business from your kitchen table with your wife, Hannah. Or I seen that you, and this is a very, very common thing in the e-commerce women's clothing niche, where the founders are women. So normally they start their business. I don't know what it is, but I've read so many blog articles and about us sections on websites where the owner has been pregnant with like children, and she still started her business and made it a success. So I actually mentioned that how they were pregnant with their first daughter, Lucy. I'll actually name drop the actual daughter's name. So it looks like it's very, very specific to them. So that's what name dropping is. Date dropping is also saying stuff like, I seen that you started your business back in 2018, or I came across the interview you did with Eric Matthews back in July 2020. That shows you that you've actually seen the actual information and you've actually watched this interview, and it's very, very specific. So like I said, name drop other people's names and date drop as well. So that's what I call name dropping, date dropping. Now, where do you find this information? Super easy, but I will actually make a video on actually doing this live for you guys if you want me to. Just let me know in the comments. So where you actually find this, Google. You can literally just Google this. So my little method is you literally type in the business name, so the company name and the owner's name. And what's going to happen is usually you'll find like some sort of article or interview or podcast or YouTube video about the owner with someone else. And you can just use information from that. Actually listen to what they're saying as well. Because like I remember one time this guy was talking about how he started his business, and he originally started out on his father's Christmas tree farm. Like no joke. Like these are the sort of details you can actually pick up, and it's super specific, and it almost makes you sound like you know them. You can also use the About Us section on their website. So if you see an e-commerce business, go to their About Us section. Sometimes it's detailed enough to find information, but sometimes it's not. So then you can use, if not, you can use like their social media, such as their LinkedIn, to see what sort of articles they've posted, any sort of content they've posted, or even just like their work history. I actually use that sometimes. I talk about where they've previously worked. It was interesting learning about how you used to work at Ryanair, for example, airline company, if you will. You can use their Instagram, Facebook, or even their own YouTube channel if they have one. So that's how you write personalized first line, guys. Again, this is a be all end all. You're not doing any more of that template shit anymore. This is how you personalize first lines, not this shit. Don't do this shit. Just using merge tags because you think this is personalized. This is not personalized. Business owners will pick up on this so easily. It's just so obvious this is a merge tag. I came across X business on Google and saw that you were the founder. That is not personalized, guys. This is right here. So guys, that's it for today's video. I hope that you can see the difference between what a personalized first line is in an email and what, you know, just a shitty generic sort of merge tag, quote unquote, personalized first line is. Don't do this thing, do the other thing I just showed you. Again, make sure you watch this again and again and again, and stop doing that shitty templated merge tag field shit. Again, guys, merge tags themselves are not the thing that's killing you. It's just that you're trying to automate this too much, and you actually have to write the personalized first lines yourself, as in like you genuinely have to write that. There's no merge tags in the personalized first line. In fact, the personalized first line is a merge tag, so you could actually create a column in your Excel sheet like all those other columns and put like a personalized first line at the top of there, and then you actually put your personalized first line in there, and then that could be a merge tag. So you'd say hey first name, and then personalized first line would literally just be the merge tag, and then you go into your script and then your CTA, and that's how you go about setting meetings. I will probably do a live video on how to find this information and all that sort of stuff. Again, let me know if you want to see that in the comment section. Again, guys, hope that this has been helpful, and I see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.